Their number one concern was the security of the border, that their families weren't safe and secure anymore. And President Trump ran on that. That's what his whole campaign was built around. And your listeners know that there were days under Joe Biden when over 10,000 people crossed the border in one day. 10,000 a day. Right now, President Trump is averaging less than 300 a day. I don't know if the numbers from the weekend are up yet, but a Border Patrol officer told us they only had 3 encounters on Saturday on the entire southern border. So whatever President Trump did, it worked. And then that starts to spill into the fentanyl issue back home. And my sheriff officers, my police officers, all of them are telling me that violent crime is starting to go down again, and that the fentanyl poisoning, the number of cases they're seeing is starting to go down as well. So this is a promise made and a promise kept, and that's the theme of President Trump's 100 days. Promise made, promise kept.
It certainly is. And when you stay in the thread of immigration and talk about the violent criminals who are being apprehended now and removed from this country, in the face of radical activist judges, in the face of mayors and governors from sanctuary cities and states, President Trump, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, and everyone involved is also following through on that promises to make our streets and cities safe and secure again. When you see the pushback from the left, when you see the skewed view of the way the defense has been made in the media, to stand in the face, whether you see the lawn signs outside of the White House, which were presented yesterday and ahead of the first 100 days, Dr. Marshall, how important it is to continue to point out to the Americans just what exactly was allowed to come across our southern border over the course of the last 4 years, and when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were in office, and moving forward, how President Trump has continued to pledge and is following through on that promise kept to make this country safe and secure again.
Yeah, again, the promise made was to deport these criminal aliens. Joe Biden gave us over 400,000 violent criminal aliens. So far, President Trump has deported over 130,000. So he's about a fourth of the way there. It's very expensive. It's time consuming to do that. And then you have federal judges working against us, which I don't understand. I don't understand why the Supreme Court's not clipping the wings of those federal activists, those federal judge activists. The Supreme Court could do that. There's a way we can attack it legislatively, but it'll be hard to get that done because we need 60 senators. But today, let's celebrate the 130,000 violent criminal aliens that President Trump has deported.
Does it surprise you or shock you to see some of your esteemed colleagues from the other side of the aisle come up in such hard defense of some of these people who have, in most cases, if not all, have committed atrocious crimes in the past, have already been set up for deportation, and want to kind of lobby for them ahead of their own constituents, ahead of Americans who have had to, survive underneath the policies of the previous administration as well, and want to put the needs of those of people who don't belong in this country, ones who have committed crimes in this country, ahead of the people who are looking to, live a more prosperous life and live in communities that are safe and secure across the country right now?
Well, Rona, what I think is that the Democrat parties want these illegal aliens in this country because they think that they'll vote for Democrats.
Good point.
So the question I always got is, why can't Joe Biden secure the border? And the answer was because he didn't want to. He didn't want to secure the border. So you ask, am I surprised that Democrat leadership is still battling us on this issue, that they want to keep these violent criminal aliens here? It doesn't surprise me because they're more interested in winning an election than they are this rebirth of America and making our families safe and secure again. And I think it's important to point out the American public gets this. They understand the hypocrisy here. Among all of our other roles that we play, I think being for myself, a father and a grandfather, when I wake up in the morning, I want to make sure my family's safe, healthy, and secure. And the open border of Joe Biden is still haunting us. But President Trump, promise made, promise kept. He's deported 130,000 and more to go.
There were a lot of people who didn't think it would turn around this quickly, and I guess we are just very blessed to have Donald Trump as a leader who's essentially taken the lead on this issue and has done it with a slam dunk for the American people.